Welcome. Welcome to week 2 of our Yin through the season spring edition practice. So for today's class, you'll need a bolster, a couple of blocks if you have, or something that you could use as a block, a blanket, your yoga mat, and a nice space to be able to chill for the next 60 minutes or so. And so to begin practice, I don't know about you, but if you have a gentle ritual that you love, for me, it is just 1 or 2 drops of frankincense into the palms of my hands. And it has been my little luxury that I afford myself to have in my practice. A few drops of your favorite essential oil into the palms of your hands, just warm them. And then just lightly placing the hands in front of your eyes. And breathe in and out. And out. And again. And out. And then just placing those hands at the center of your chest. And just holding the hands to your chest. Feeling the rhythm and the pace of your breath. And just arriving onto your mat today. Hands to the chest, serving as this reminder that you are safe, that you are loved, and that you are cared for. And importantly, that you're okay. Rest your hands just ever so lightly on your thigh. And I invite you today to picture or to visualize the breath as a soft breeze through long grass. And with every exhale, releasing any gripping in the hips, the belly, and in the jaw. Last week's practice, we invited a softening of the grip. And so this week's practice is from softening the grip, allowing us to move with grace through what comes. I move with grace through what comes. I move with grace through what comes. I move with grace through what comes. Last couple of breaths there. So from here, we'll just warm up the body just a little bit. And so still working in the meridians and the organs of liver and gallbladder. We'll just come on to all fours shape and just pat up the knees if you need. And then just a little rock of the hips from side to side. And you might almost take the sit bones back to the heels for some big full body circle. In Yin, we call these marauding bears. And I don't know about you, but I haven't seen anything on David Attenborough's programs of bears marauding. So perhaps we need to find that somewhere. Little swing back of the hips as you circle around. And then the other way. I know I've certainly had a dancing poodle on my yoga mat this morning. Comes complete with some little grains of sand. So I'm just going to see those as little offerings today. Come back through center and take some cat-cow. So the belly will drop, the heart will pull forward. Big breath in. Stretch out through the tongue. And then exhale breath as you press the shins into the mat and curl up and round into your spinal stretch. The belly will drop, heart pulls forward, splits fan. And then heart tucks under, we scoop and press and round. Just one more round here, belly drops, heart pulls forward. And then exhale, scoop and round. Back through neutral, we're going to transition through from tadpole to frog if it's there. So toes together, knees apart, sit bones sit on back, forehead can rest to the mat. And of course, if your hips don't like this or the knees don't like it, you can bring a bolster in front of you and you can just lift the hips up a little and drop the body down onto the bolster like so. So as we do progress into these shapes, a blanket across your neck can feel really nice. So just take a full breath in, a little bit of energy through the back line there. And then as you breathe out, I'm going to invite you to simply soften under. The first shape, just kind of introducing your body into the shape. Noticing the pressure of the knees to the floor. Feeling the belly on the bolster or between the knees, softly. Moving with breath. And this is what we are, as we are a vessel of breath. I move with grace through what comes. I move with grace through what comes. Just on halfway, shift your head up and over to the other side and soften. That's if your head was turned to a side. Simply noticing how the body down regulates and the nervous system in particular down regulates into this shape. Last few rounds of breath here in tiny tadpole. And then I'm actually going to show you how to do frog up against the wall or the couch or the cupboard for me. You can do frog in this position, so more floor bound. And so that's why the blanket underneath your knees will be quite helpful. But what I'd like to show you, if you want to take full frog, go for it. But what it looks like is that the knees are to the width of the mat or slightly off the mat. And so my knees are a little bit wider. And so we really want to stretch the inner seams of the legs. And so I find it really, really strong and not very comfortable on my young knees, my forever 50 knees. So you can come into it like so. So you have the bolster underneath the belly, and that can be quite supportive, but it's also quite strong. So a nice variation. And if you have any pubic symphysis pain or any discomfort around the bottom of the pelvis, then perhaps it's not the right one for you. So a beautiful variation is to do it up against the chair or at the wall. And like, yeah, this just feels so much more approachable. So this is frog at the wall. And so it takes away any pinch from the back, but it's a beautiful deep seam stretch into the inner seams of the legs. So we'll just be in this shape for about 3 minutes or so. And for many of you, I know you're practicing at home, so the wall, a couch, a credenza are all accessible for everyone. And you can rest your arms inside the inner seams of your legs, or just maybe place the hands on your belly. So this is deep liver, deep liver. And you can also come into a butterfly shape if that feels a little nicer, or even dragonfly at the wall. Oh, but for me it's super duper strong. So I'm actually going to take my hands to the outside of my legs and support my body in that way. Just allow the breath to be smooth and steady. Just moving with grace for what's ahead. I move with grace with what's ahead. I move with grace for what's ahead. And just like a spring breeze starts to weave its way through the leaves of the trees and the long grass. As a reminder that we don't break, we just bend. And again, just notice, are you holding, are you gripping in the hips, the belly and the jaw, and soften. I move with grace through what's ahead or what's to come. Last few breaths here in this shape. And then when you feel ready, just slow motion, close the shape of the legs. If you're still in frog on your knees, use the strength of your arms to almost push yourself up like a little plank. And then bring the knees close together for a closed knee child's pose. If you're in that supine frog at the wall, just hug your knees into chest and rock gently from side to side. And just let the tissues of the body rebound here. Still last couple of breaths. If you're in child's pose on your knees, just press your way on up to seat. If you're at the wall, Just roll over to a side and then use the strength of your arms to bring yourself on up. Nice. You can come into a little side bend now. Oh, is that where I wanted to go? No, not quite. All right, where we'll kind of shift to here from frog pose is a nice little upper back, a little bit of a back bend, but with the bolster or the block underneath the sacrum. So if you've got your blocks, you could also roll up another yoga mat, or a cushion could also be quite nice here. I'm going to stack the blocks across the mat. So we're still kind of working around the sacral hip area. So I'm going to come onto my back and then lift my hips and place the blocks underneath the flat part of my pelvis. And then the knees will just kind of drop out to the side. So again, it's just another little easeful liver stretch here. If this is uncomfortable for you, especially if you're in the butterfly, find the butterfly shape of your legs with the bolster underneath your knees first. A bit messy with the props, but anyway, have the bolster underneath the knees first. Then come and lay on your back. Scoot your bum a bit closer towards the bolster. Stack your blocks and then let the legs rest here. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Didn't actually get to experience this one in this kind of way this week in practice. So, oh, that is so nice. So you've got a little butterfly with your legs, maybe a little blanket underneath the head. And it's a beautiful little rebound from the strong stretch of frog. Just a nice, easeful butterfly shape. And here it is so comfortable to just rest your hands on your belly. And for the next 3 or so minutes, just deeply, softly dropping into that beautiful rhythm of your breath. I am my breath. I move with grace. Through what's ahead. Taking your last few breaths here. Exhale breath, let it all go. Just gently opening up your eyes, bring the soles of your feet to the top of your bolster. Elevate the hips, lower the spine all the way down. Nice. And come into twisted roots now. So drag your bolster up with your feet and pull it up and over to the left side of your mat. And cross your right knee over your left. And if you can, take the full bind here with the right toes just hooking around the shin. Go for it. Oh, wow. So here we are, just really closing in and compressing in that beautiful liver chi. Oh, so it's like a little squeeze and rinse. And then lift the legs. And of course, if you can't do that, that's okay. Lift the legs up and over to the left side of the mat. I like to drape them on the bolster. It just takes a bit of sting out. But if you want more sensation, you can place the bolster on top of the legs, get a deeper stretch into the outer hip, or no props at all. The right hand just reaches out to the right corner. And we take some really easeful breaths here. And it is about doing the best we can to move through this life with grace and ease. And yeah, there's going to be challenging times, like there's challenging yin poses. There's going to be discomfort. But these little anchor phrases throughout the practice is just a reminder to your nervous system that you can move with grace through what's to come. And that we can move with grace through what's to come. The power of the pause before the response rather than the reaction. You know, none of us are perfect. But we all have the ability to be kind. Kind to ourselves and kind to others and those we care for. You can release that bind of the legs if you need to. Just easing and feeling the twist and the rinsing. And the real depth of your being. The twist deeply serving as a reminder that we won't break, we just simply bend. And last couple of breaths here. you feel ready, just going to drape the left leg back onto the mat. Take the sting, or not so much the sting, but the intensity out of the twist. And just take a moment for that tightness, that grip of the legs, the compression of the liver channel, just to soften a little. And then just ease your way back onto your back. Use a little bit of muscle through the back body. Just take a little wash, roll a few rolling bridges here, just to wash that strong twist. It was quite strong for me today. Up and down. The tail tucking under, spine lifting. And then exhale as you lower back down. Just a few more. Tail tucks under, spine peels and lifts. And exhale as you lower down. One more, just like that. And little bolster drops over to the opposite side. Shift your hips up and over to the left. And then cross your left knee over your right. See if you can wrap the foot around the calf and squeeze in tight. Then drape those little legs up and over, twisted roots, right side. Little opening through the left chest, and feel that beautiful stretch, honoring the heart and the upper body, the gallbladder, liver, compressing and plumping up all of that nourishing chi through the legs. Breathing easily. Smooth, steady, softening breath. Breath is smooth and steady. moving any of your limbs. If you're feeling any pins and needles, just move your arm. I had to just move mine. I get a little bit of impingement in that shoulder. So you just move the arms so you find that ease. Move with grace for what's to come. And last few breaths here. And when you're ready, just gently unsliding the legs. Slow motion. Maybe just uncross them first. Let the legs drape. Always slow motion out of the shape. And then start to ease your way on out. Little rock from side to side. Your little windscreen wipers there. Bring the hips back into the middle of your mat. And then just a few more of those little bridges, a little lift on up, just a little bit of muscle back into the energy back into the muscles of the hips. And tail under, peel on up. And down. Just one more sweet, steady round as you lift the hips up. And down. Nice. And so our next little shape is going to be a deer pose. Yeah. So we'll take a more yangy way to come on up. So just stretch your legs to the sky and a little rock on up to seat. And so deer pose next. Oh, need it. So probably best to face the short edge of your mat. And you bring your bolster in front of you now. Everybody's bodies are going to approach this shape in a different way. We all have different levels of tightness. And so if you're really tight in your back and moving forward into this shape is not your jam, and this is really uncomfortable in the back hip, perhaps you might feel more comfortable to take the leg back a little further and come into swan. But what I would suggest with swan is that you have a blanket rolled up underneath your left hip. And then you come forward. Or another beautiful variation that I really, really love is that the bolster slides underneath the pelvis. So the pelvis is getting that beautiful support. And I might actually do this one today because I don't do it that often. And so it takes load off this front leg, off the knee, and then the back leg can just drape. And then, oh my goodness, that's pretty strong. I'm actually just going to grab a few more cushions, another bolster for 1 sec. Oh, and so a second bolster or some cushions. Yeah, let's see how this goes. I've got my little cushion underneath my left leg. And then I've got my second bolster here. And this is where the blocks come in handy. And someone said to me the other day, gosh, I didn't realize how much we use blocks in yoga. Actually, I'm just going to stay upright here because it's pretty tight. But what this does is it lifts the pelvis up a little, so I'm able to just lean forward at whatever degree feels good for me. Oh, it's strong, but it's not as intense in my back. Not that I've got a bad back, but you know, when you just have those days that you're just like, oh, I don't think I can do back today. We'll do a forward bend. Here we go. Here's another way. Oh, check that out. That is the bomb. What a great way to do pigeon. I think I've just reinvented a new pose. Ah, that is awesome. Now, of course, a chair in front of you could do the same thing. A number of cushions. Lean up against the couch. Or you can just simply do the very first variation, which is a simple deer pose. But I'm kind of loving this right now. It's really good. We just ease in and lean in. We're kind of deep gallbladder line here. I'm getting a subtle tug on the liver, the inner seams of my leg. And there's an easefulness in my back. So good. Amazing what a little creativity and a few yoga bolsters and some blocks can do. And soften the grip to allow us to move with grace for what's to come. Just one more variation as I've got my leg draped over the bolster at the front. And so it kind of brings the legs up to me a little more. That feels even more supportive. Interesting. You know, we make our own way. We create the shape that feels right in our bodies, rather than trying to force ourselves into something that is not us. But of course, there'll always be shapes or things in your practice that are not your favorites. And so just like bamboo bends with subtlety and pliability, so can we in our practice, but also off the mat too. Just 5 more softening breaths here. When you're ready, using the strength of your arms, press your body on up. Oh, take the load off your legs. Just take a beat. And we'll set up the version of this shape on the other side. And so it might feel completely different. So this is just one more variation. So kind of what I've done here is I've just got my right shin on top of the bolster and then coming forward that way. So that's also another beautiful way to drop into this shape if it feels right for your body. And I'll start off with that little swan or the extended deer over the bolster, and then use my little bolster bridge to rest my upper body. So just make your way into the shape on the second side, remembering that no props, no worries. It can be as simple as that. Just do what feels nourishing for you. My mum has this saying that things take the time that they will take. But sometimes we just have to take our foot off the gas. What's something in your life that perhaps you just keep pressing the brakes on really tight? It may not be a thing. It might be a feeling or an emotion or a situation. And how would it feel just move with grace through what comes? Even if it is when it first feels. Definitely bend and learn. Gentle reminder that we won't if we take our foot off it. You can choose to coast through life. Or you can choose to focus on taking every single moment. Generosity, with grace, with ease. Without guarding and thinking, wow, I need to pull out some meat. That's a little bit of a metaphor. We just coast Not so much coast, but just focus on different things that take us away from what matters and what we want to do. Also, Rumi says that what you love be what you do. Ready to come out of this shape, just take your last couple of breaths. And then as you exhale, soften. And then using the strength of your two strong arms, press your way on up. And we'll come and find ourselves in pentacle. So the blocks can just pop to the side. The bolster underneath the knees. And then if you're fortunate enough to have the two, like me, you bring your sacrum up towards the bolster. You can then just lay your body down. A little tuck in of the chin and just a supported shavasana there might feel really nice. And then as you lay your body down, let the breath move completely and fully. From the tips of your toes into the twinkle of your fingers. Right to the top of your skull, through the brain to the skull. The little tips of your hair. Let your breath, like a river, find its way through every nook and crevice of your body. The breath, a little like water, will find its way to the dry creeks, riverbeds, to the dry riverbeds within your body. So breathe deeply into every single cell of you. The whole you. grace through what comes. I move with grace through what comes. Move with grace through what comes. And so when you feel ready, begin to welcome yourself back to your physical body. To your physical body laying here on the floor. To the physical sensation of the breath, always moving with grace in your body. Slow motion. Let bring some energy back into your body. Breath a little fuller, the movement now starting to shift and weave its way down to your fingers and down to your toes. Maybe there's a full body stretch and a yawn as you welcome yourself back. Roll off your props and roll over to your side. And gently begin to make your way and find your way all the way up to seat. So you've found your way to that comfortable place of seat. Just gently guide your hands towards your heart. And may you carry this softness and this grace into the rest of your day, to your week, to your month, to your season. And flexible in body, forgiving in heart, and graciously moving with love and kindness and ease for what's to come. A gentle bow and acknowledgement of your time and presence on the mat today. Namaste.